been kind of stuck together for a while. You know, a lot of their players and stuff and strategists. But, you know,
discuss. So there's not going to be too much movement off the rip here. Teams are just figuring each other out. It's going to be a bit of a stall while they figure out each other's comps.
Yeah, they're still up at the moment. I mean, you have Squids as well constantly putting in damage. You still have heals from the high ground. Kraz able to trade it, but it's not enough. And SJW finds the final eliminations on this objective. They're playing busy work is now. It's interesting the wrinkle into this is sort of playing this.
You need to see that moving forward. There's plenty of time on, so there's no major rush, but playing a little bit too slow. Both sides really just trying to poke like crazy. Zero Meta going to find that pick on a Shocker now, and that's going to put them up.
Radiant still went down into that ultimate regardless. Daggers come through, and it's like you mentioned, Melophobia being the catalyst for Nemesis winning that fight. Can he do it again, right? In that last fight, Hulk not able to use ultimate because of that. Same thing with Zero Meta, right? Both ultimates that were huge impact changes, and that's why Jeff is so good. But I don't know, where was SJW with that whale, right? Where?
But Nemesis doing a good job retaking early on in the percentage here, still making them hold at 56 as they're climbing closely. Numbers up still for Busy at work, but Nemesis still holding on, and out we go with the Fate. This could be a whale opportunity, but right in back line. Ricky going to be taking out Redis. Redis going to find Shocker, but scatter onto Zero. Nemesis still holding on to the point 80% after Busy at work looked really good on the initial take. Still up with this ultimate SJW and Prince ready to try to retake once. And notice the focus there on the Squids, even in ultimate. That's how valuable those Squids are. Immediately finding SJW post ultimate there is huge. 99% here for Nemesis now, who are looking consistent and around these structures, lifted up even, you know, around the point and get a ton of damage out. You see now Shocker trying to make that happen against Redis, and both of which will have that rage, and it starts now from Shocker. Rage of Ultron onto SJW, trying to force out cooldowns.
Looking at how this team is looking form.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As we'll start up how now Nemesis is holding on to ult advantage, should have 3 ready. SJW going to be ready with Prince. There will be 2 matched right back by Busy, who need to retake, but down in ult is tricky now as we start once more. Look a little bit forward. The dive comes out instantly.
But, you know, at points can lack the fundamentals. And when you play a triple strategist composition, now you're going over to Starlord for SJW. I think that makes a little bit more sense than that Namor comp, the King of the Sea composition. It makes a little bit more sense, I think, to play this sort of traditional Starlord comp, but it might be too little too late, Shib, as they're right. This guy has been that standout player. Can he do it again? In this case, Nemesis has been able to pop off with Shocker and also Madian finding picks in the middle of the fight, but they have ults ready to go, like you mentioned, Shib, and they can come in with the Galactic Legend really whenever they want.
Yeah, it'll be a good initiation tool to force some stuff out if they want to, and yes, it is.
Now we have this Venom just trying to stall it out, gets grabbed by Emma. Shocker still has the portal if he really wants to try to live, but trying to sustain the healing, but Media ram over the top side, and Redis is there.
Redis on the pick on Shocker. Scatter now to commit here with a Psionic, looking directly at Ultron, but using this ult does make you immune to that.
Sorry, they did give it the point there, just in overtime, trying to maybe force them off. But really, I mean, this could be huge from Krasmain coming up. Zero doesn't have that dance floor just yet, but you can still get eliminations through it if you perfectly time it, if you get the right damage boost with Terra Cape and stuff. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming fight. A lot is on Krasmain for sure, and maybe the follow-up from Immediate.
Yeah, and we will start another fight. It's now getting into dangerous territory on the side of Nemesis. Is Busy at work is up at the 90%. Oh, Scatter and Craze, though, as I say that, find a 2-piece and put them up heavy in numbers, forcing out perfect time to keep the team healthy. And we are going to see a bit of a stall, but at this point, it's looking up for the side of Nemesis. Can they keep the momentum on their side?
In the sky, Median goes. SJW tries to fly away, but you can't escape all this healing, all this sustain on the objective. You also had SJW's ult that you're desperately missing. Same thing with Redis. Overtime takes down Shib. That portal goes away, and it's just Prince left on the point with an Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, Nemesis is doing just what?
Busy at work, too. I think they actually took advantage of Jeff last time. This time they cannot because of Team Nemesis focusing on the hero and getting it out of the way early. And I got to be honest, that Luna Snow Protect didn't really enable them, right? It didn't seem like it did much in that upcoming fight. I mean, Ricky was able to play Cloak and Dagger, and they're able to take advantage. Like when you get it, when you're pressing the gas pedal, right? When you're going forwards, you can take advantage of Luna Snow.
Range strategy, like, you know, ooh, okay, we're.
You know, playing on the high ground, setting up their defense hard, right? Not trying to think about those sort of things, because it's sort of also, if anything, it's gamemanship, right? If you're having to think about that before instead of your actual strategy, that could influence your decisions later on.
And off angle and just force eyes backwards, allowing his team to walk forward. Well played here as Redis now up on the high side, holding on here with the Namor, dealing a ton of damage and just allowing those Squids to do what those Squids do. And it can make Star-Lord's life very difficult because all this juking does not matter when the Squids don't miss. Out goes that Gamma. They're going to focus those.
That's in Portal, committed by Prince at least. That's something for Team Nemesis. Also having 2 ticks. Not bad from Busy at Work at the current moment. They do use a few ults, use that portal, but still hold on to the point. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Nemesis could go aggressive with that Ultron's Rage, but might be met on the opposite side with that Galactic Legend.
Yeah, I mean, forcing Portal out like that is a huge win, though. It's a 3-minute cooldown.
Bring it down at the current moment because they didn't, find eliminations in that Eternal Bond, but the hard pocket still comes onto Emadian, who now goes into the sky, met by Prince, trying to come with the Avocamoto, actually finds the back line, but not able to get more than just Ricky. Nice slowdown from Axry.
Melaphobia going to bring the team right back. Ricky Scatter, Emadian target.
Yeah, Scatter's also been keeping his hold every time in the sky. SJW is there. He tries to go with that Silent Seduction to counter. We'll have to watch out in that fight, and also that invisible boundary used, like you mentioned, meant for Ultron's Rage, which can be built faster than that invisible boundary. And now here we start out early with SJW and his ult, maybe trying to force out something, but now eventually Crash, huge pick off from Regis at the very least, leaving Emadian out of this upcoming fight. That's a lot of your damage gone, but it's a matter of delaying. Here comes a whale on the top side. He connects, but the drone keeps him alive, and also the Eternal Bond is here from that front line. Scatter leaves the fight though from Zero Meta with a nice clap.
And notice as soon as that whale comes out, Ricky is going to use that ultimate and find a pick on a Zero Meta. Like, the true real value is if you can get a Meteor Ram on someone who's already committing an ultimate. That's the real trade there. It's a one-up, if you will, instead of just an even spread. But, so, yeah, I mean, again, good work there. But being able to shut down things like Ricky doing a good job of waiting till all of these, and just in terms of ult tracking, right? Waiting till all of these ultimates are committed and then using Eternal Bond, because it can be very difficult to have a successful Eternal Bond when they're...
That's an interesting invisible boundary here too, committed, but they're able to find Melaphobia, who has the self-res. So they're kind of just committing ults just back to back to back to back. Maybe they could find something now with this Meteor M. Kraz goes down, also not going to get res, so that's a huge pick off from the back line.
Yeah, and they still come back. Well done here by Busy at Work, who did not commit Regis or Prince and still healed up amazingly. Well done here. Shocker going to turn around and put focus onto the Hulk. Emadian going to be taking out Silent in the back line. Prince very low now. The team keeping their momentum forward. Nemesis looking lights out. Finds another pick here onto Hulk. Goodbye, Bruce. Craze keeping that space. And at this point, Busy has to make a big touch play. Zero Meta ready with the dance floor. SJW with the Galactic Legend and the invisible boundary very soon here for Silent. These could be ults that could turn the tides, as there is nothing ready for Nemesis. You have to commit
to, Busy at Work.
Can't just be stuffed by one angle. Good positioning to hide here from the side of Shocker, which is maintaining that low ground, but SJW now going to try to track and follow suit, and that is some good, insane tracking onto Shocker. Goodbye. Spin to win now with the Blaster Barrage. Going to follow up and keep the pressure forward as Zero Meta now takes out Crazebang. 2 down for Nemesis. Potential portal coming in here from Shocker. It is, but will he be able to get there in time? 1 tick on and counting. Regis onto Scatter, and at this kind of about the more standardized composition here from the side of Busy at Work. No shields up for the most part besides Prince there with Emma. Very small shield in the grand scheme of things from some of these Vanguards. So clearly making this composition work, being very aggro and trying to hit some of these big ults onto the side of Nemesis, who Ricky goes down. Actually going to find Melaphobia. We see SJW on a Scatter again, and once more, a great defensive hold in these fights. And Zero Meta is getting a ton of picks here on the Luna Snow.
Yeah, I mean, that's the lethality of Luna Snow for sure. Zero Meta, one of the better players at doing that, and it's because they're able to find also Melaphobia, in that self-res, in that cocoon, come back into the fight. Now he's not going to leave. I mean, it's unbelievable the time to eliminate. Busy at Work right now are just kind of deleting people instantly, and this is really just what we talked about earlier when it comes down to mechanical skill. This team just absolutely can farm you if you are in,
Rezzed up. I mean, again, really good fighting here by Busy, counteracted by Melaphobia's big ult, but the team was essentially playing for that at that point. Just fall on the cart and get ready for res, and that's exactly what they did, as we see the Psionic go out right now, and it does find the tracking onto Shocker, who's very low.
Except no, they found Ricky and able to follow up as Regis.
And another turn back around as Emadian commits. Ooh, but he falls from the side of Prince. Regis with the pick. Prince again onto Craze. And they're walking with 2 minutes and almost 30 on. Busy at Work does not have... They're going to match it right back with the Fate. And they are going to keep it moving forward on the point, which is now just meters away from Busy at Work, taking this map and making it a 1-1 series.
Huge grab from Scatter. He's been difference maker. Sonic Seduction used, but everybody avoids it yet again. I mean, Nemesis has to play perfect.
Now with virtually 4 ults ready, 3, and we will see Nemesis ready with 3 as well. Who gets more value? We'll find out shortly. And have the res ready from Melaphobia, which could be massive. Potentially having that self-res up as well to buy more time and get better positioning. Emadian going to be matched right back by SJ.
So at the current moment, they're coming back, and they might have some momentum on their sides if we enter, or when we enter that third map.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they needed. They needed the momentum to shift. We talked about momentum being a huge factor, and it really looked good there. They held them before point 3, and honestly,
Nemesis' choice to go to the best concession, that has worked out for them throughout the
key on to Prince to get that trade, and still Nemesis should be up in numbers now just by 1. No major res coming through, as the res should be gone here now from Redis, and the momentum is still going up. We go to the Kraken impact from Melophobia, which does find SJW. Make that a second Kraken impact. That one does not land, however. This comes through for SJW, but a great clobbering time to try to counteract after the fact. The Median still full HP, might have to juke the Meteor, and that does land on a shield as SJW not able to make that one happen in that moment.
Yeah, huge shield from Scatter, who has been phenomenal this series. Vanguard play.
They need to. SJW gonna find Scatter now as they keep the pressure on and holding them early on. Again, and Nemesis got to regroup and start once more, but they will have ult advantage in this next fight.
Hey, usually you don't see teams actually win this many fights so far. Nemesis sort of faltering, but here
Meter left on the push, and they get point 1.
That was interesting. I mean, Redis just chucked his see you later out there in the middle of the open to get blasted by Nemesis. I mean, I don't know what the idea is behind that. Maybe you can keep it alive. The idea is obviously to swap the Jeff. Regardless, they didn't really feel confident in that comp, I guess, after that sort of a single fight shib.
Wow.
Huge work by Nemesis there. The damage has been overwhelming, and this has been the biggest problem for Busy at work is their triple comps, triple strategist 2-1 compositions have not been the best.
Prince gonna find a Median and Melophobia there. SJW to keep that pressure forward and is gonna take out Scatter. And they do retake now while the point is still very low. They're gonna try to...
Yeah, it's as you said, Shib. Mello, if you missed it, just dodge that Jeff. It's Jeff. With the Kraken impact into the sky, just jumps over it, you know, sort of becoming a long jumper in that situation. The Kraken giving him the boost they desperately needed. Now we're going to the last point of the phase, and we're started off with a Freedom Charge from Busy at work, but they have nothing after this.
Up and worse. Shocker gonna find Prince, though. Busy at work, down once more in numbers, as we see the comeback this time from the side of another Jeff NATO with a Median, takes out 0. Goodbye to Redis, keeping this momentum forward. A Median gonna find 1 with Mello, takes out SJW. Melophobia is popping off here on the Bucky.
To go against that ult in their own, or fight in their own, and they're actually going Penny Parker against this, you know, composition. This is the sort of old strategy for Nemesis to play Penny Parker on the triple.
Yeah, I know Penny mains are stoked right now. All is very, very strong pick into the specific composition, trying to break some of this equipment and get things bouncing. We are going to see Craze potentially ready to use a Psionic once this wall goes down again. Forcing ults here at the door is a good play.
Block already. The job is already sort of done for them in terms of this tandem. And you can see, I mean, Busy worked up and living up their name. They're busy at work. How much damage is being output right now, and no eliminations are being found. Huge job from Nemesis right now at the current moment.
Yeah, this is a huge momentum shift. I mean, this looks like a totally different battle in this moment compared to what we saw on map 2.
Line as well as Prince is going to set up an Eye of Agamotto, but you see how much distance is between him and those strategists. This is exactly what Nemesis wanted.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart portal. That is some smart team strategy. Redis is going to find one onto Scatter, though, and still looking for more. Now onto Craze, who is very low. Great focus there. Redis now taking height. Craze Mang is down. Again, we got to find a pick this time. Is going to be a Median to pick on the Rocket, who is very, very threatening.
They could potentially still lose here in overtime. Right now, Eye of Agamotto from Prince.
It was a great idea. It does find one, but the team is going to rally around and keep them healthy. Good touch to make sure that was not given away. And out goes a reverse eye.
Jack's free over. Prince off of that Doctor Strange, having to go to the Loki, but it's not enough. Portal's not there in time. Job done for Nemesis. They finish off Busy at work, winning 2-1 and progressing in this lower bracket. That was an incredibly close series, though, again. Just get it done to move on forward and also secure themselves into that playoff, and that's the most important thing for this team right now, who got sent to the lower brackets in maybe a surprising fashion to them by Team Sentinels.
Yeah, I think just another big brain banning strategy there we got to highlight for Nemesis was getting rid of the Phoenix and then having the Jeff NATO in this play with, you know, at most